you know, after much thought and consideration, maybe I should apologize. I mean, somebody has to. Somebody has to step up and say that they're sorry. I mean, I didn't mean for it to take the turn that it did. Boy. I didn't make it clear enough. You see, Bones, you're right. I didn't beat Lance Minion. Last time I checked, the Minion was a character on Despicable Me to begin with. But I never faced Lance Minion. I don't need to face Lance Minion. Because, see, I took the NBYWA Heavyweight Championship. Why? Because I can. You called me, what was it, off my rocker? You called me nuts? Well, you know something? Those two things, they just very well may be true. But you gotta also consider in another factor. The factor that I am the best. You want to talk about ICP or PCW or someplace in Indiana? This is the part that boggles my mind, you know. I've done it all. Ball joint. Done it all. And the thing that gets me is this. I've never heard of these guys in Indiana. Never. I mean, I've heard of James Blackwell. I've heard of Cody Douglas. I've heard of the great HPW World Champion, the Lord of Pain Deucalion. I've heard of this guy in Michigan who just now shaved his beard by the name of Skull Jr. But these guys in Indiana, I have just never heard of. So how can they be the greatest on the scene if the promised Sean Steele has not heard of them? I mean, I'm the NBYWA champion. I mean, you'd think I would heard them. You'd think they'd be on my playing field. You'd think that the names would register just something in my mind, but they don't. And then you want to hint on the fact that maybe we're cowering away from not coming up to Michigan for your super show. That's the funny thing about it. You see, you're just not getting it. And by God, I wish I was Glenn Beck and I had a big chalkboard right here. That way I could draw it out for you. We don't need to come to Michigan because every show we do, brother, it is a super show. We are the show. And what's great about HPW is they have me, the promised Sean Steele, who is soon to be the HPW champion and already is, as you can clearly see, the NBYWA heavyweight champion. Now, you mentioned something about going to your closet and taking out your little title there and saying that it was in there. How can you actually have a champion if your little replica Jack's Pacific belt is in a closet? What are you trying to say about your belt? It's coming out of the closet? Are you trying to make a gay slur? Because quite frankly, I don't find it funny. I'm not offended by it because by the looks of that belt, it was gay. So I'm glad that I have this belt. This is real. And I've also heard a lot of things about my belt, the NBYWA Championship. People say, why is there paper on it, Sean? On top of gold. Well, you see, before me, the NBYWA was just that. It was paper. Nobody in it was good enough to have gold. But me, I am gold. You put me on a marquee, the venue sells out. You put mine on something, it turns gold. So to do you a favor, I put the NBYWA on this heavyweight championship to make it gold. And the part that really irritates me the most, You want to talk about how you guys have had 3 world titles, 3 different ones. You know how many HPW's had? It's more than 3. A lot more than 3. And there's a very, very rich tradition behind the HPW World Heavyweight Championship.